Imagine this. It's 2 o'clock a.m. The highway is completely empty. Just the sound of tires against the road and the faint hum of the engine keeping you awake. No streetlights, no houses, no other cars. Just darkness stretching endlessly in front of you. Then suddenly you see a man standing in the middle of the highway, motionless, slowly waving his hand as if he's been waiting for you. Your heart skips a beat. You check the speedometer. You glance at the mirrors. There's nowhere for him to come from. You think he needs help. Maybe his car broke down. Maybe he's injured. But as your headlights get closer, you realize something is wrong. Very wrong. His shadow doesn't move with his body. His face doesn't look clear. Almost like it's unfinished. And the closer you get, the stronger the feeling becomes that if you stop the car, you won't leave alone. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 3 disturbing, true road trip horror stories that will make you think twice before driving at night again. Stories told by people who survived, and some who barely did. Put on your headphones, turn off the lights, lock your doors, because these are not just stories, they actually happened. This happened on a long, empty highway in the United States. The kind of road that stretches for miles without a single light, where even the stars feel distant. 2 close friends, Mark and Ethan, were on a late-night road trip, trying to reach the next city before sunrise. The nearest gas station was over 40 miles away, and their fuel gauge was slowly dropping. It was around 1:30 a.m. The road was silent, too silent. No cars passed them for over an hour. Then Mark slowed down. On the side of the highway stood a young woman in a white dress. Her clothes looked old. Not dirty, just outdated. Her head was lowered, her long hair covering her face, and her thumb was raised, asking for a ride. Ethan immediately felt uneasy. "Who hitchhikes at this hour?" he said. Mark hesitated, but something about her posture felt helpless. Against their better judgment, they stopped the car. The woman opened the back door and got in. She didn't say hello, she didn't say thank you, she just sat there, perfectly still. As Mark drove off, an uncomfortable silence filled the car. Minutes passed, no movement, no breathing sounds, no shifting in the seat. Ethan slowly turned his head. Nothing. Mark checked the rear view mirror. The back seat was completely empty. Mark slammed the brakes so hard the tires screamed. Both men spun around. No door had opened, no footsteps. No sign she was ever there. At the exact same moment, the air inside the car turned icy cold. Their breath became visible. The radio crackled violently and switched to static on its own. Then Ethan froze. In a barely audible voice, he whispered, "Mark, someone just breathed next to my ear." Before Mark could respond, the engine died. Total darkness. They spent the rest of the night locked inside the car, too terrified to step out. When police found them the next morning, the vehicle worked perfectly. But the officers noticed something disturbing. The back seat was covered in wet dirt with clear handprints pressed into the fabric, as if someone had climbed in from underground. Later, the police told them the truth. 10 years earlier, a young woman had been killed in a hit and run on that exact highway. She was wearing a white dress. And even today, drivers still report seeing her asking for a ride she never finished. Story number 2. The motel that never existed expanded. This incident took place on a remote mountain highway where fog rolls in without warning and the road feels endless. 3 friends were driving overnight, trying to cross the mountains before morning. Their phones had no signal. Their GPS had stopped updating. Exhaustion was setting in. Around 2:15 a.m., through the fog, they saw something glowing ahead. A roadside motel, old, flickering neon lights. One single word buzzing above the entrance: vacancy. Relieved, they pulled in. The parking lot was empty. Inside, the reception desk was abandoned. No staff, no sound, only a bell and a dusty register book. One of them flipped through the pages. The names written inside were dated more than 20 years ago. No recent entries. As they turned around, a voice spoke from behind them. "Room number 6 is available." They spun around. An old man stood there, pale and expressionless. They didn't ask questions. They took the key. That night, none of them slept. At exactly 3 o'clock a.m., one friend noticed a shadow under the door. Someone was standing outside, but the shadow wasn't normal. It was upside down, as if whatever stood there was hanging from the ceiling. They didn't open the door. They waited until sunrise. When they ran outside, the motel felt wrong, faded, transparent. They drove away immediately. Later that day, they returned with local authorities. There was no motel, only an empty field. Half buried in dirt was a rusted metal sign. This motel burned down in '99. No survivors. Story number 3. The voice from the back seat expanded. A family was on a long road trip. Mother, father, and their 6-year-old son. It was late. The child was supposed to be asleep. The road ahead was dark and straight. Suddenly the boy spoke. "Dad, why is that man sitting behind us?" The father smiled nervously and glanced at the rearview mirror. "Nothing. There's no one there," he said. "Go to sleep." The boy went quiet. Minutes later, the phone rang. Unknown number. The father answered, and his blood ran cold. It was his son's voice, crying, whispering, "Dad, I'm in the back seat." The father turned around. The child was gone. The crash happened seconds later.